What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here at Creative Rise. And today we are not in the studio. We are sitting on top of a Jeep in Maui.
Way better than
we
the
just
studio.
Flew into Maui. We were in Hawaii, and we just got in here. We booked this trip, like 5 days ago?
Yep.
Booked this car, this rental car this morning on the way to the airport. This is a very last-minute trip. It's a story for another day. But, yeah, we're here in Maui, and we were like, why don't we pull off on the side of the road? Because we had a podcast to do. We really wanted to talk about this specific topic, and that is the topic of what do you do when pricing panic sets in. When you get an email out of the blue, you're on a sales call and someone asks you, what do you charge? You meet somebody in person, they say, what are your rates? What's your pricing? And panic sets in. The lump in the back of your throat hits and you're like, I do not know what I should say right now. There's three options that most people go with. Number one is you lowball yourself. Oh, I can do it for $200. You lowball yourself, which is not good.
Yeah.
Option number two is you say, well, I'll just send you an email later and I'll give you my pricing. That's not good. We're going to talk about why that's not good. And option number three, you say, oh, we need to get on another call. And that's not a horrible thing. But if you're not giving them somewhat of an answer on pricing, you're avoiding the pricing conversation. And that does not go over well.
Does not make you look very confident.
We've got a decade of experience of that not going over well. Now, this episode is going to teach you what you should actually do in that situation. So super glad you're here. If you're new to Creative Rise, my name is Joey.
And I'm Christy.
And we have been building businesses specifically in the creative space as photographers and filmmakers for a decade.
Yeah, last decade.
Both. So about 20 years collectively together. I started a content agency in 2014. You started as
I was
a
a destination wedding photographer. I switched into commercial, and then now I'm doing both because I missed couples.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of experience with that, like pricing anxiety, that pricing panic when someone asks you and you're like, what do I say right now, right? So this episode, we're going to be talking all about that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But before we talk about that, we want to celebrate round 13 of the 6-week Creative Rise Mastermind is officially closed. We sold out, you guys. We have an incredible group of creatives that are joining us for 6 weeks to focus on their business. I want to shout out their names really quick from all around the world. We've got Angelique Heaton. We've got Rick Ramos. We've got Lexi. We've got Whitney, Dan Johnson, all the way from the UK. We got Brandon Greenewald. We've got Christopher Minchala. We've got Raquel. We've got Kyle, we have James, Andrew, Laura, Claire, Bo, Mark, Sam, Jordan, Emily, Chantel, Tammy. Tammy's awesome. She's got a studio in LA. It's so cool. We got Michael, Ezra, Cheyenne, Elena, Jason, Rachel, Paolo, Amber, Morgan, Tyler, Rich,
Morgan and Kenna,
Cody, Gary, Ben, and Marcus. And last but not least, Hunter, who's moving to Australia next week, which is so cool.
Yeah, she just jumped in like, what was that? That was like the last spot we just gave to her. That was like an hour
That was an hour ago, and we shut her off.
Right when we
shut
landed.
her off after that.
Anyways, guys, shout out to those 36 creative businesses, multiple teams. What, 3 or 4 teams?
Yeah.
Multiple teams. So excited. We love working with teams, husband-wife teams, or partner teams, or cousin teams. We have a cousin team.
Cousin team,
yeah, we
do.
love that. But we're so jacked up for the Mastermind. If you're brand new to Creative Rise, the 6-week Creative Rise Mastermind, something we started in 2019 and have been innovating ever since. We run 2 of them a year, and it is 6 weeks of downloading every single pillar, the 6 pillars really, you need to grow and build a sustainable 6-figure business foundation for yourself. And the best part, we do it in community. We just read off everybody's name. That is going to be the community that's going to be going through it starting on March 16th, which we are jacked up about.
We're so pumped.
So excited about that. So shout out to you
shout out to round 13
and you are watching. If you want to get on the wait list for round 14, all you got to do is go to creativerise.com, and it's just started to pour rain. We're going to keep going. Hopefully, camera's waterproof, right? If this gets really bad,
for the most part,
maybe we'll pick up. But today we're talking about pricing anxiety, right? And pricing anxiety is the lump in your throat when someone says, what do you charge? And you don't have an answer. So today you're going to be talking about why this matters, what you actually should do in that situation, what you should say, so that you can navigate that well and not undercharge, not get ghosted because you gave them a price that wasn't representative of what you actually do.
Yeah.
And last but not least, make sure that you actually close the deal. So we're going to try and cover up this podcasting equipment here because it's starting to rain.
It's starting to actually pour right now.
It's pouring.
All right, keep going. Keep going.
So, guys, why this matters. Pricing anxiety happens when you are not ready for the pricing question, and most importantly, you don't have a good answer for the pricing question. So what we're going to help you do today is we're going to help you get a good answer for the pricing question. And getting a good answer looks like a couple different things. And there's a couple different scenarios that we're going to walk through on how you can get the right answer. But the biggest thing you've got to understand before you actually shape the words you're going to use, the most important thing about not dodging the pricing question is not dodging the pricing question.
Yes.
If you dodge the pricing question, you look like you are a couple things. You don't. You're not someone that they could really trust. You're not someone that knows what you do and knows how to price it. And because of that, you don't look professional. So it's like imagine you went into a store and you said, hey, I want to order this off the menu. And they said, well, that's great. And you said, well, how much is that? I don't see any prices. They're like, ooh, yeah. How do you want that cooked? It's like, probably like, I want my steak medium, but like, how much does it cost? I'm like, ooh, I got to go back and grab you a drink. What do you want as a drink? Like, it would be so awkward. You'd be like, why are you not giving me the prices? There's something weird going on here. When we tell people, oh, I got to email you later, or when we say, oh, we got to get on a call about it, we are getting soaked with rain. That's what it sounds like to people when that's what you say. So it's a very important thing that we don't do that as creatives. So the first point is that dodging the pricing question is losing trust. Losing massive amounts of trust, which is not good.
The second conversation about pricing, meeting it head on, what it does for you is it actually qualifies your leads. When you actually tell someone a price initially, it helps you understand whether or not they could actually afford you, because you don't want to just keep lowballing people just to get the job. You actually want to charge what you want to charge, show the value of what you're going to be doing. And if that person balks at your price immediately on you giving them like a solid range of what something could look like, and the lowest part of your range they are not okay with, then they're probably not wanting to be your client anyways, right? Like they probably wouldn't have actually booked with you, and you would have just wasted your time jumping on sales calls, building pitch decks, all that kind of stuff, when in actuality it just shows you, hey, this person maybe just isn't your person. So moving on.
Very important. Last but not least, this is what you actually need to say. Okay, so this is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time today on the show. Understanding the right words to say is really how you navigate the panic, the pricing panic, the pricing anxiety, that thing that comes in the back of your throat when someone says, what's your prices, and you're caught off guard. Understanding what to say is important. So when somebody says, hey, let's say you're in a coffee shop, you're having a meeting for the first time with a new client, and you're walking through, you went into the meeting very open-ended. There's like 100 different ways this could go with different services you offer. You didn't know what they necessarily need. And they say, well, this is great. I'm excited to potentially work with you. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you charge? Instead of saying, oh, $200, or saying, oh, I'm going to have to send you an email later today. No, own what you charge and give them a budget range. So saying something like, hey, we'd love to explore a little bit more about what your project scope is actually going to look like. But most of our clients end up doing photo campaigns between like $3,500 and $15,000, depending on how big these are. So in order for me to really give you an accurate price, I would love to just chat a little bit more about what does this campaign look like for you? What's involved? What are the outcomes you're trying to go after? What are the deliverables you're looking at? And you start inquiring with them. You flip the questions on them. And you are going to get a really specific thing that they are going after. And specific things are easy to price.
Absolutely.
Pricing anxiety comes from not knowing what you're actually giving a price on, right? So number one is you got to make sure you are walking them through somewhat of a discovery phase where you get to learn what the actual project looks like. Therefore, you can actually quote it. But the other really important thing I said there that is super crucial when pricing anxiety comes on is you've got to say, hey, I actually can't give you a rock solid price right now. Here's somewhat of a range. So instead of going, well, I don't know, I'm going to email you later. You go, well, yeah, typically our clients are working with us between $3,500 and, $15,000. So in order for me to give you a more accurate representation of where you're going to fall in that line, we should probably chat a little bit more about what you're actually trying to accomplish, right? That is massive. That is like the bread and butter. If you can just listen to what we just talked about and you can take that into your next conversation when pricing anxiety hits, say exact line for line what I just said, you'll be in way better shape.
Yeah, that's a really great way to approach pricing. And last but not least, just approach it confidently. Say your range, say your price, whatever it is, just say it confidently. Don't do the whole like, well, I think maybe I could maybe do this. Say it confidently, say it straight to their face, eye contact, all that kind of stuff. That stuff actually goes a long way. And I know that pricing can be a hard thing to learn. It can be a hard thing. It's a muscle. We call it like a muscle that you build when it comes to pricing. But that range will really, really help you talking to prospective clients.
Yeah, totally. We always talk about at Creative Rise, people reflect the confidence that you show in yourself. So if you're very confident, you're optimistic about how you can help somebody, people are going to buy into that. And they're going to go, wow, I feel like I can trust that. I can lean into Joey, or I can lean into Christy. And I feel like this is the type of person that's going to be able to carry me through to where we're trying to go as a brand or as a business, or what type of wedding photos we want. So how you show confidence in yourself is what's going to be reflected. So quick little story on this. And this topic really came out of a lot of pricing conversations in the last week with creatives in our community. But I also I was on an ad. I was on Instagram, swiped up on an ad for a software company. It's an SMS marketing company. So they send text on behalf of your business. And we use one of those. So I was like, this one looks interesting. Looks actually more interesting than the one we use. Swiped up on it. And of course, their funnel to chat with them and about everything is through text because they're a text company. So I get a text immediately from the founder, quote unquote. And he's like, hey, man, tell me a little bit about what you're doing. And I said, awesome, dude. Yeah. I'm already working with this company, one of their clear competitors. Would love to know what your pricing looks like. First thing I said. And his response was, hey, I got to learn a little bit more about your business before I learn, about how I can price you out. And I was like, well, thinking in my head, well, that's odd. This is a software company for businesses. It should be pretty explanatory, but whatever. So, hey, the business is in this industry, and here's how many texts we need to send like a month, probably like 5,000. And he's going, oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Well, why don't you jump on a call with me and we can chat more about your business and we can talk over some pricing. And so I sent back to him, I said, hey, man, I got 7 hours of client wrap-up project calls today. I don't have time to get on a call, but I'd appreciate understanding what your pricing looks like. And he responded by saying, hey, we'd love to jump on a call. I think it's a better way to talk over pricing. And what did I do? I ghosted them. Why? Because I'm like, this is insane. Like, you're making me work so hard to earn your pricing out of you, and there's zero reason why I should be trying to earn anything from you. Yeah. Like, I'm the consumer. You should be trying to help me understand everything, not make me fight for your pricing. So this is often what we do as creatives, guys. We have no pricing on our website, no starting at pricing on our website, no budget range pricing on our website. We get on calls. Someone says, what does this cost? What's a photo project with you typically cost? And we go, oh, well, I'm going to have to run the numbers. I'll get back to you later. And I'm guilty of this. I used to do this for years, right? Yeah. We've got to learn, guys, that when you avoid the pricing conversation, you look like a rookie, and it does not instill confidence into the client, nor does it instill trust. So if you're a photographer, filmmaker, or social media manager, you need to have a good response when someone catches you off guard and asks you, what is your pricing? And the best way to do that is by giving a budget range. Exactly. Hey, typically our projects are between this dollar amount and this dollar amount, but I'd love to explore a little bit more about what your project scope's going to look like, because everybody we work with is a little bit specific and individualistic. We never copy and paste the same solution for one business to the other or the same wedding to another. I really want to make sure something's tailored for you. But here's the budget range, $3,000 to $15,000. Why don't we have a deeper conversation about this, and I can give you an exact price. How's that sound? That is how you handle that objection right there.
And some creatives might be going, oh, but if you say that first, what if they actually had more budget than you originally, like what if you miss out on some money that they potentially had? And my response often to that is, you should be charging what you feel great about getting paid. And that it doesn't matter if they had an extra $2,000 in their pocket that they maybe would have actually squeaked in for you. You will lose way more money trying to play that game than you will just being confident and charging for your value and having confident relationships with your clients.
100%.
So pricing is branding, and make sure your brand is solid.
Yeah, that's a great point. Too many creatives sit around going, oh, I got to figure out, I got to wait 2 days to get back this email.
See how much money they have.
Half the best way to ask them what their budget is. And it's like, dude, the guy who's out there just going, yeah, here's my rates, let's go, let's do it. Here's my pricing, here's how I price that project. They're getting way more deals than the person who might be on the other side of the camera. You might be listening, and you're so concerned about maxing out a brand's budget. Yes. Who cares? Get what you need out of the project. Get what you're stoked on, yet you're also... That's how you should price things, guys, right? What you're super excited to do the job for, but you're also then confident to show up and sell. If you're super stoked about it, but it's too high for you to feel confident to go sell, you should probably drop the price.
Exactly.
If you're super easy on like, hey, I could easily sell this rate, but you're not stoked to do the job because it's too low, well, then you probably should bump it up, right? Pricing is a reflection of your own value, not your value as a human, but your own value and how you can give solutions and how confident you are to sell that. So a little bit of pricing talk today. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Again, if you're new to Creative Rise, we're so glad you're here. There's so many new people in the last month and a half, especially on YouTube. So shout out to everybody on YouTube and Spotify and all the loyal people on Apple Podcasts. But thanks for sticking with us through this episode. That started pouring. I still have water all over my glasses.
I'm sure
that started pouring rain on us.
Yes, if there are some water droplets on the...
I did not think I'd see a Cybertruck.
No.
In a random road in Maui.
If you guys have a topic you would love for us to chat about, leave it in the comments. Shoot us a DM at Creative Rise. We would love to know, because, again, we're just trying to come with value and stuff that we've learned from our own businesses for you to be able to apply to yours. And so if you've got a question, a burning question that you feel like is being gatekept by the community, we will not gatekeep it for you.
No gatekeeping here.
So shoot us a message, leave a comment. We would love to answer some of your most burning questions, and subscribe. So whether it's on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and subscribe and download the show. It helps us out a lot.
Yeah, and last but not least, make sure you go to the description in this podcast and go download and go get an account. It's not download, sorry. Go get an account for our web-based pricing calculator. It's totally free. It's going to allow you to price out your next brand project, commercial project, social media project in under 3 minutes, or price out all of your wedding packages in a strategic way where you're actually price anchoring all your stuff. It's totally free. You can create a free account today. Go to creativerise.com/pricing calculator. Would love for you to get that free value. It's an awesome tool we get a ton of good feedback on. So if you don't yet have an account, go to the link in the description. You'll find the pricing calculator right there. But thanks for hanging with us, guys.
Thanks for hanging in the rain.
Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us here in Hawaii and enjoying watching us look like wet dogs as we got soaked there for a little bit.
As I put my socks over the audio recorder.
Interface. Well, guys, thanks for being here. From me, Christy, and the rest of the team that makes these happen. We're so glad you're getting value out of these, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye, guys.